Okay, guys, welcome back to the Spiritual as Fuck podcast. Look at me, I got a brand new microphone. Um, One thing that happens when you have a spiritual awakening, but also get to relax into your feminine finally, is that somebody who has always been a hardcore tomboy, speaking for myself, wearing black, just like blacked out, all of us, all of a sudden, we like pink. Let me silence this. Yeah, all of a sudden, pink fucking everything. I'm like, pink, pink, pink. So that will happen when you are able to fully relax into your feminine. I wanted to talk about the craziest experience that I had last night with my boyfriend. Um, so I'll just like start with like I could tell that him coming home from work, he's going through a major transition in his life right now. Like the biggest transition and activation that he has ever, I wouldn't say that he's ever gone through. I would say for the last decade, and I didn't know him back then, but he said like it's reactivating things that, where he like got into clicked into place for the last time that he opened up his entirely new business. And I've always known that he's like so fucking smart, so capable, so genius. Like his mind works in these is he's brilliant. And since I met him, I was like, you're not actualizing your full potential of where you are right now, where you're at with your life, with your work. Like you're capped, you're limited, I just always saw this vision of him being like this free bird and feeling like he's in his power. And as a shamanic healer, as a psychic intuitive, and as an energy alchemist and energy healer, I get a lot of visions and I do a lot of energy alchemy work. So I work with the physical body, but I also work in the metaphysical esoteric realm because I can feel energy between my hands. I can shape energy. I can manipulate energy. And so when I'm working with a person's body, I work with the chakras. That's where all of your programs are. That's where all of your memories are. That's where all of your conditioning lies. So when I go through the different chakras of the body, that's where I'm getting all this information from. When I work inside the body, the body will actually like somatically shift and things will click into place. But all these visions and all these downloads and everything kind of comes up, and I'm able to get like really cool answers from the universe and little breadcrumbs that this person can follow. I can see their life path and things that are going to happen in their future and all of that. So having like or being that person that does that for clients, I don't do it as much as I should on my boyfriend. And people always ask me, like, is he a spiritual person? And I'm like, not in the sense that you would think. Like, we do not speak the same language, like, at all. He's like very logical, very like scientific, analytical, all of that. Like, his cerebral cortex is like, brrr. And mine, like, I am off in the ninth dimension half the time. I'm only speaking in like, if I codes of like my language, my vocabulary is like codes and vibrations and frequencies and karmic loops and all this like this deeper intelligence of the spiritual realm. So like we do not speak the same language whatsoever. But there is this, I know that I wouldn't be with him if he didn't have this common energetic thread that doesn't even scratch like it's so deep down that it like runs through us, that it's like undetectable, or like you can't speak, we don't speak the same language like at all, but there's like this deep energetic frequency that runs through us that is a completely different language in and of itself. And I know that I wouldn't be with him if it weren't for that, because I have to have somebody like that as a partner, like for somebody to like to not be awake or conscious or anything at all. It's just not going to work for me. So he's not on like on the superficial level, he's not like that, but there's always been this completely um other nonverbal crazy other energy transfer language that we speak. And that's exactly what it is. Like there will be times where if you can almost imagine like a human that's just like waves of I mean, this is true. We are just waves of particles, like when nothing is solid. And then when those waves of particles, they interface and like if a blue and a purple came together, all of a sudden the blue particles would come with the purple particles and they would like intermesh and it would just be like this exchange of frequency, this exchange of energy. And so that is what we have. And I felt that since like the very beginning. Like we don't say anything, but we are feeling energy transfer. And this so yeah, and so I did one time, I think 2 years ago, I think it was like probably like halfway through our relationship. No, not even. It was like maybe like a year into our relationship. We went to the hot springs and he had just gotten a total leg sleeve tattoo. Went from no tattoos at all to like full sleeve, full leg sleeve. And so he couldn't go into the hot springs and he's like, I'm just gonna like chill out on this picnic table. And so I was like, really? Okay. And he's like, I mean, go have fun. So I was like basking in the hot springs, just like melting into the rocks, like smoking a joint, just like off in la la land. And then I was like, oh shit, I should go check on him. So I went to the picnic table and he was just like napping. He's like my grandpa. He can like literally fall asleep anywhere. Just like put a hat over your face and like gone. So I went up to him and I like it's like these. It's just like a not a conscious thought. It's just like something that like that I vibrate like intuitively feel like just put your hands on his body or whatever and put my hands on his solar plexus and I just got like sucked into his energy and I was getting this vision and I'll never forget this because it's pretty much one of the only visions that I've gotten for him because I don't want to be like in our relationship I don't want to be the one that's always or so far I haven't wanted to be the one that's always tuning into his energy and like and getting visions like I want him to like I wanted him to have his like sovereignty and do it his way or whatever but like maybe that's a reason why I haven't done it as much but I'm going to start doing it more because of the crazy experience that happened last night that I'm going to share, but I'm leading up to that. So one of the only visions that I have, and I think it's also because I don't want a lot of different visions. I want key things that are going to keep me on the trajectory, on the journey. So very vivid vision of when somebody's doing archery so like pulling back the bow and arrow so this was him in the vision okay so it was him with a bow and arrow lining everything up perfectly and I was like okay like let's fucking get a move on here let's get on with the show here like I get it he's pulling back an arrow no my guides like showed me this vision and it was like while I was standing there holding my hand with my eyes closed and like keep in mind part of my brain is thinking are people walking by thinking what the fuck is she doing to him is he wondering what the fuck are you doing to me you like I'm completely plugged out of the world around me and I'm like deep in trance and so this vision so it was like so fucking slow so painfully slow that like that the shoulder was lined up perfectly then the gaze was lined up perfectly then you know how they have to like the archery teacher or whatever something like pulls up the fucking rib cage locks that in then they tap on the shoulder oh no this needs to go a little higher yet and I was like God, like let's just move on with the fucking show here. What's the next vision? And then came the pulling back the arrow part or the string. So it was like slow motion in slow motion. And I was like, God, this is painfully slow. Like I almost just want to like come out of the vision. I want to take my hand off of the solar plexus so that like this is just too painfully slow for me. And it got even slower. So all that Finally, when everything was so perfectly lined up that all you had to do was move the fingers just a millimeter to the side, and all of a sudden this arrow let go and it shot through the air like in the movies where it's like whoa, 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 whoa. And it was perfectly in line. It was going to hit the target like right on the money. So like instead of taking, a bunch of sloppy shots and trying to get the target, it took for fucking ever for him to line everything up so perfectly and so with so much precision, so much calculation, so much preparation, so much laser sharp focus that when he let that go, it just soared through the air. And one time was all that he needed. So I kept that vision alive in the back of my mind. And anytime that I've done that, it shows up later in my life. It's like this little tic tac size comment or vision or remember memory or something like that. That is just a key thing that it inevitably shows up later in life. So taking this vision, I was like, okay, he's very calculated. So he's going to take a long time to just like, prep things and everything. So it's going to take time. But I saw when I first met him, I saw a couple things because I'm a psychic intuitive and I see energy and I see things that need to shift in people's lives. And so I saw that there was a couple, main wounds that he needed to clear. And when I met him, he was like totally oblivious to like emotional wound healing and self growth and that deep type of internal healing and that work. Like he was like, that was so foreign to him. So, yeah, so I knew that he would have to do that. I knew that his career was the second thing that was going to have to shift. Because it was like, it was not, it was keeping him so capped. Like it was not serving him for expanding into his fullest potential. So anyways, fast forward 4 years where things are I am like just about to like there's been so many things that I've put into my vortex. When Abraham Hicks talks about putting things into your vortex, she's talking about the things that you dream up, that your manifestations that you want to have come to fruition. You're putting energy into them. You see visions of them. You fantasize about them. You daydream about them. You use your imagination to add momentum to them. All of that, it's like that's what's circulating in your vortex. And then usually the way that the universe works is that right when you're about to be like, fuck this shit, where's my stuff? Like, where is my manifestations? Where are they? I'm like, I'm giving up. That was me in May because I was like, I was like, oh my God, like we're not engaged yet. You haven't like shifted in your work, like all this stuff. And I was like, I'm not going to like sit around any longer. Like something has to shift or I'm going to go insane because it's time. I feel like it's time. Um, so that's when things started to shift. And that's when he really like was like, okay, like this is like do or die. Like these things do need to shift. So the so he's been going through this transition where he is like he's banging things out of the shop. He's working through projects so that he can leave his business, he can transition into his next chapter, and in so many ways, and also like engagement and that like we're getting engaged at some point this summer. Like there's so much stuff that is like happening and coming to a convergence point right now, and it's all almost right there, and it's just about to come to fruition. And then my brain was like, okay, well now what? Like all of the stuff that I've had in my vortex that I saw from the beginning, that I saw 3-4 years ago, and that I hung on to and clung on to, and like and I knew that it would happen someday. And then just about when I was about to give up, then the energy shifted, and I was like, okay, like this is the portal here. So now he's in the middle of this transitionary portal. And my brain is like, okay, I need to go back to the drawing board. I need to make sure that I'm connected to source energy, like that I am like vibrationally stable, and that I can support him, and that I can energetically lead and guide this relationship so that I can continue to see into our future and download the energetic codes, for the quantum codes for our new version of ourselves, our new life, like how we continue to expand, how life continues to unfold now. Like that is conscious work, and I take that very seriously. So I go back to the drawing board and start meditating more, and I start like sharpening my vision for the future, and anchoring. Like I literally feel energy that comes from the higher power that comes and fuels down into me, and then my body like opens up, expansion. It's my nervous system literally starts to like to vibrate, and I can feel that I'm opening up to more, opening, yes, receiving, 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 and my whole body will like start to kind of like wiggle back and forth as these codes are being funneled down to the deepest level into my DNA, wrapping around my DNA helix structure, locking and encoding into the very every fiber of my being. And then I feel like a drop. And it's like, that is locked in now. That is now who I am. I am the walking embodiment of that frequency, of that energy, the new 2.0 version of me and my life and his life and our relationship and our life. And that's how I energetically set our relationship up for success. So truth be told, I hadn't been doing that for a while. I hadn't been meditating. I was so focused on like on how he wasn't moving forward and like how things were not moving fast enough and all of that. But now that everything is coming to fruition, I'm like, okay, now what? Like, I'm gonna like, what does this next chapter look like? So I went right down to back to the drawing board. I like to go to the beach in the summertime. Also, I'm acutely aware of the fact that it is the Lionsgate portal right now. And when the Lionsgate portal comes around every single summer, it is the most powerful portal of all astrological. Like, I'm not a person who really I'll feel some shifts, and some full moons will be like, holy fucking shit, what is happening right now? What is happening right now? But I am not a person, like, I'm not an astrology person who's like, oh my God, this is conjunction and this is happening and the planets are rotating and blah, blah, blah. Because so it's like, from my personal opinion is that people that get too caught up in that, they become victims of being lazy or, unmotivated or just being bitchy or what all of it, whatever you have. But because, sorry, I can't speak English, like what have you, because Mercury is in retrograde. And I'm like, how many times a year does Mercury go in retrograde? And if you're using that as an excuse to just be like this fucking train wreck, then like you're victimizing yourself. And in any avenue, not just astrology, but I don't like to give my power away like that and victimize myself to like what's happening around me, whatever, Yes, has an effect. But at the end of the day, you don't have to fall victim to those things, whether it's like any sort of blueprint, any sort of limitations that you will find um in any practice, right? Or any teaching. Anyways, Lionsgate portal is such a powerful portal, and I'm acutely aware that we are just I think we're in it now, or we're in it now. I don't even know when it starts, but it is around this time every year. And like a week before and a week after, you're still feeling the effects of it. This portal is so fucking powerful that every single move that you make matters. It is such a crucial time right now that every single move and decision and action that you take is either an aligned action to who you want to be or is misaligned, and you're reverting back to the old programs and you're betraying the emerging self that wants to come forth and birth this new you. You're betraying that if you're going back to the way that things always were or staying the same. Like, you're voting with your energy right now of what you're feeding your energy to, how you're showing up. And so every move right now matters. So I'm like, all right, this is a portal. This is an anointed time right now that needs to be honored. And I'm gonna do a lot of meditation at this point. And make sure that I'm doing the vibrational and energetic work, because the feminine, quick little tip here, the feminine in ancient civilizations where they were at like the pinnacle of civilization, they had sacred technology. They were so far further, what you might call it, than us, like so farther ahead than we are. They were working from a matriarch point of view. So like ancient, they had a matriarch. So the women have this special direct relationship more so than the men. They have this direct portal to source. That is why women have a womb that can portal, a non-physical stardust cosmic life chromosomes floating, conjure up that energy and then funnel it down, bake it in their womb, and then birth it into the physical realm. That is the portal from the non-physical realm to the physical realm through source energy, through source aligned, like cosmic alignment and gathering of your chromosomes and your life purpose and your life path and your contracts that you come here with, all of it. So the women were believed to get the codes from the gods, these quantum codes, and that they would pass them down into the men, and then the men would carry out the last form of manifestation, which is the physical form of manifestation. So there's two portions to manifestation. There's the conscious creation of it, the energetic and often the emotional that's also wrapped into that. And then it funnels down. And the last form of manifestation is always the physical material, like when that becomes material in the material realm. Right. So we need both the masculine and the feminine, but the women were at the pinnacle because they were the ones that received the codes from the gods and then funneled them down into the males who would carry out what they needed to do in the material realm. It's been flipped, I've heard, because the men got jealous of the women's ability, and so they started to try to suppress the woman. Also, like they didn't want it to be this limitless creation potential that we have access to in the spiritual realm. The religion came in to try as a means for control of the people. They didn't want people to realize that they have this unlimited potential to tap into. So they flipped it and created the patriarch and all of that. And then we've been in that toxic masculinity ever since. And now medicine women are starting to rise back up and they're starting to heal their witch wound. And so this kind of stuff is happening. So when the woman understands that this is her role in life, that she is the partner who works better in the energetic realm. That's why women have this heightened to intuition. That's why women have this heightened sixth sense. That's why women, they are differently wired than men. And if a woman is tuned into that and not tuned into like to her masculine side, then she can really do a lot of amazing energy alchemy work for their relationship when she taps into her energy like that through meditation. By the way, that is how I pretty much have created and designed, I call it life by design. It's how I've created and designed my entire, like the things I love most in this life. Like I tap into meditation and I download codes for abundance, for amazing vacations, for exactly the house blueprint that I want, for exactly the car that I want, for exactly the relationship that I want. I've fucking done that with everything in my life that I am like so blessed with and that I feel blessed to interact with it every single day. It just keeps giving back to me because I created it. I downloaded those codes through meditation. I fucking meditated my way into this life that I have that I'm so happy with. So, okay, so this is the crazy thing that happened yesterday. So he's going through this transition right now, and obviously it's stressful. He's got to finish off all these projects. It's a huge shift for him. He's going from us like a crippling in the sense that it's been very limiting for him, but like a stable career, nestled into this life cushion to completely unknown, and going through this transition right now. So obviously there's going to be some stress. Obviously there's going to be like some big pieces to move, some big decisions to make. And when you're in the moment, when you're consciously making those decisions, you are having to rely on your intuition and your relationship with the universe because there's no code. Like you're doing something completely different than what you've been doing for the last decade, and you don't have anybody to tell you what to do. And so I've been encouraging him to tap more into his intuition instead of listening to what other people have to say, because nobody is in his position. Nobody understands the intricacies and the complexities of how his life journey has unfolded up until this point. So I said, like, don't listen to other people's advice, including my own, and just focus on your intuition, which, by the way, is super important for everybody to know. Nobody knows what your situation is. Nobody knows the intricacies and the complexities of all the factors involved. The last, all of the series of events that it took to get you to this point right now, how your brain works, what your future looks like, what your blueprint is. Like nobody knows that. And so whenever anybody is giving you advice, yes, okay, some people give great advice, but they're still giving you advice through the lens of their perception, and their perception is clouded by whatever they're going through in their life right at that point, or what they have, the little snippet of your life that they've seen from their perspective. So the best thing to do when you don't know what to do, and you're like, that's why when you do something that is like so crazy, you're at a fork in the road. This is why there's this blessing in doing that, because then you can't turn to anybody. You have to rely on your intuition for maybe the first time in your life ever. I remember when I first did that, and it was scary as hell, but there was this pull, like, come this way, keep tuning in, keep listening, keep going down this path. Yes, this is right. And the thought of going back to, maybe some of you are experiencing this right now, the thought of going back to your old self or back to your old patterns, especially as we're going through this Lionsgate portal right now, the thought of going back, it's like your body somatically, vehemently opposes it. Like it's like a like, I don't know what uncertainty is like in the forefront. Like I see fog, but whatever it brings is better than me turning around and going back to that version of myself. So it just becomes this super strong conviction, compelling energy that you need to lean forward into this. You have to move forward. The thought of going back just makes you sick. So that's when you know that you're ready. So he's reached that point now. And so yesterday I could tell his nervous system was so shot. He was so stressed out. Barely said a word. We were going out for dinner with some friends. He just came home, like quickly changed, went for dinner, no time for decompression. He was so silent during the ride there. And I was like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "I just need to decompress." So I was like, "Okay, fine. Yeah, for sure." Because he's going through a lot, and he's not the type of man to like make it my problem. Like he will like sit in silence, he could be stressing, and it could be like a 15 out of 10 stress, and he would not let me in on that it's like freaking him out. So I could feel his energy though, that it was like really sort of like disassociated. His nervous system was shot. He was so stressed, but he was like somewhere else too. And because of the work that I do, I know that this is him energetically transitioning. He's processing, he's filtering. So like all of this energy is falling off of him. The dead leaves are being snipped off. He, all the same time, simultaneously, he's like emerging into a new self. There's confusion, there's rebirth, there's embodiment, there's like this new version that's coming up, you know, to express itself, kind of like when you rip out a tooth for a little kid, and by the time that the top tooth is wiggly, like the bottom tooth is already emerging, right? Like there's a new tooth that's emerging, and you just take the old one out. So this is all happening like simultaneously, and we see this happening in nature with like the tooth thing, but we're always like, I see this energetically happening to people when they're transitioning. And in the midst of transitioning, as you're shaking things off, as you're moving through something new, it's a fog. It's like a plane taking off and then going through the fog, and you can't fucking see that plane. You're just trusting that all of a sudden it breaks through the fog. But this is the fog. So I'm holding space for him. I'm being compassionate, knowing that he is going to go through this. There's going to be elements of grief that he goes through, grieving how like his old habitual ways were and all of that, and uncertainty, all these things. So it's a lot. So then we went out for dinner, and he ordered a drink, which he never does. And I think that it had alcohol in it. He never, ever, ever drinks, but he ordered this drink. And then he was feeling like really sleepy afterwards. Alcohol just makes him like super sleepy. But I don't think I've ever seen him order a drink. So then he came home, and I was in the kitchen just like tidying up or whatever. And he was on the couch, and I could tell that he was like in a trance. Like he was in some kind of, like I could tell that he wasn't like fully there. And I was like, should I go up and like lie on top of him and snuggle him? And part of me knew that I shouldn't disturb him. But I like just wanted to. So I just like went and lied on top of him and immediately I could shift, like I could feel his energy shift. And I was like, oh no, no, no. I pulled him out of whatever trance he was in. So I like, then I got up and left. And then he came and laid down on the bed. But he was like, it was as though he was under hypnosis. And I was gonna meditate. So he was lying on the bed and I was like sitting down in bed. I was gonna meditate. And then I was like, no. Again, this energetic, like compelling energy, like told me to like go and put my hands on a solar plexus and work on a solar plexus chakra and the heart chakra. So the same chakra that I tuned into the solar plexus chakra when I had that vision at the hot springs was this now. Like I've been meaning to tune into his solar plexus chakra for a while. But this just happened. Like now was the time. So I put my hands on his solar plexus and I was getting all of these crazy downloads and visions and everything that was happening. Meanwhile, I could feel like little somatic shifts happening in his body. But the solar plexus chakra is all about empowerment. It's about standing in your power. It's about being in your power, reclaiming your power, taking control, but also not to be, if you're a control freak, that means that your solar plexus chakra is imbalanced. But you want to be in control. You want to feel like you have a sense of control, a sense of your own power, being in your power, standing in your power. It also is for confidence, blocked by doubt. It's for confidence, self-esteem, but really more or less, it is the masculine core for being in your power, reclaiming your power, stepping into your power, and being really confident in that. So I was doing, all sorts of like when I have my hands on the chakra, I can feel the somatic body shifting. And while I'm going deeper and deeper, I disassociate from anything that I'm thinking. And it's not my imagination that's conjuring up. I have to shut that part down so that I can transcend all my own thoughts, all my own energies, all my own frequencies. And I just simply become a direct portal for source energy to flow through me. And then I'm the conduit so that it comes out of my hands and transfers into whatever person that I'm working with. All the while, I'm getting messages, visions. I'm seeing deeper layers, deeper layers of what's happening, where he's going, what's shifting. And so I was getting all of this crazy energy that was flowing through my body. Meanwhile, he was like making like really weird sounds, like, yeah, it was weird. I've never heard him do that before, but he was starting to breathe really like heavy like this, like he was letting go and feeling relief, and there was so much energy that was surging through my hands that I was like starting to do this. And when the certain times that I allow for that much energy to flow through me, I actually get dizzy. I get nauseous. And so I was like, oh, fuck, I don't want to get nauseous right now. Like, please, no. And it's like, no, you guys are vibrating at a frequency that both of you can handle right now. So it's a level that we reached where we were just vibing in that frequency. So it didn't continue to get like more and more and more and more intense. It was just the nervous system calibrating to that level. So it's like, if you can imagine almost like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, like whatever you call them dimensions, call them levels, call them like initiations or whatever. Or it happens when I meditate. So I go like deeper and deeper and deeper into meditation. My vibrational frequency rises. But sometimes when that vibrational frequency rises too much, too fast, it's too intense, I'll get dizzy and start getting nauseous. And that happens for a lot of people. I think that's a common thing when you're really when you're opening your system up to that much energy coming in. So anyways, that's what I was experiencing. But my guides were like, no. It's not gonna go to that point where you're like, ugh. You're both just vibrating at this frequency. And so I allowed the energy to flow through me, and I was just working on his chakras and allowing for that energy to flow through my hands into his body. It goes down into his body. It spreads through his whole body. Like this light goes all across his body. His cells at a cellular matrix level is receiving these quantum codes, is what I call them, this energy. And his cerebral cortex is not registering what's happening, but the body, the soul, the energy is receiving these quantum downloads, this upgrade. And so all of a sudden, zhoo, like after I was like, come on, come on, come on, like step in your energy, in your power. Your power's coming back to you. Empower yourself. Yes, you're the leader. Yes, 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 that version of you. And I'm like, this is all going through my mind while this energy is just like surging through my hands. All of a sudden, like just when I was like, come on, it was like, boom, and it just like clicked into place. And he was like, whoa. I was like, did you just feel that? And he's like, what was that? He's like, yeah, I felt that. And so then I was like, oh, amazing. So I went up to his heart chakra and was doing some more work there. And then after that, he was like, just like he was letting out these big sighs of breaths. And he was like, this is exactly how I felt when I did the toad, when I did the 5-MeO DMT toad, which is a funny story because that was May. At the beginning of this podcast, I was talking about like a major transition that was like do or die in May. He went to go do this. Guy's never done a drug in his life, okay? And he went straight to the motherfucking toad. 5-MeO DMT, which will completely blow apart all of your old paradigms and will just shatter the identity that needs to like to fall loose and just let it shed away. So he went to do that, and then ever since then he's just been he's been different. It opened him to so much more, and it opened up his channels for more like energetic spiritual stuff. So he was like that because we talked about it after. We were just kind of like he was in such a trance. It's like he was speaking, but it wasn't really him. He could barely even get words out. He's like, I just keep seeing his voice sounded like if you've ever listened to recordings of Dolores Cannon's when she puts people into a deep hypnosis, she does past life regression. The way that they speak is kind of like in a trance, and they can't get there. They could barely say words. And there's so much more behind the words that they're saying. There's so much that they're not saying that they're experiencing in that moment that they're not saying with their words. But he just kept repeating. He's like, I'm meant to step into my leadership. I'm taking back control. He's like, I'm taking back control. And I was like, oh my God, is working? Is happening? You're having these realizations right now. They are coming through you, and you're having these revelations like you can't even explain because of the codes that I just transferred to you, like doing the shamanic healing work that I do. But it was cool because I don't usually do it on him. So I was doing it on him, and it was perfect timing. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, is this actually happening? And then he was just talking about the way he was talking was completely different than how it's like it was him, but it wasn't him. It was really weird. There was like this whole different shift, this whole energetic shift. And I literally felt a collapse of his old self and then getting downloaded with these codes and then coming to life. So I was like, I think like most of that went straight into your subconscious brain. And he's like, my whole body is tingling right now. He's like, there's so much energy flowing through me right now. He's like, this is so crazy. He's like, what is happening right now? He's like, what are you doing to me? Like, holy shit. And it was kind of weird because like I didn't know what he was going through exactly. And so I was like kind of nervous. Like I was like, are you okay? Like, is this all a good thing? Like, this is you good? Like he couldn't even get the words out. So I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna hold space for this moment. I'm gonna be in this moment. I'm just gonna continue. Like when I laid my head on his chest, I was just gonna continue to like allow the energy transfer to happen. And that's often how I see what's happening with our energy. Remember, I was like talking about that this whole other encoding language that we feel it whenever I cuddle with him. It's not just like a body and a body. It's like this energy transfer, and I get myself into a place of alignment where my heart is open and I'm radiating and I'm like fully in coherence, mind, body, spirit, and I get into alignment. And then I like to radiate that out, and he does the same thing, not like as consciously as I do it, but over the years he's developed a sense for that Reiki type energy where he's like, I'm opening up my heart and I'm letting it radiate. And whenever he does that, I can feel it. And whenever I do that, he can feel it. So even like a week. And so this is all super timely because it's preparing him for for the last 4 weeks of this transition because he's got a specific goal of a date where he wants to be finished with his old work and everything and step into this new, everything's going to be new, right? So it's coming down to the wire. It's coming down to the last 4 weeks. And so it's very timely that this is happening, that shift happened yesterday. Can't explain it. There's hardly any words for it, even though I found lots of words for it, trying to explain it to you guys of what happened. But truly, you cannot explain these types of experiences with words. It's like trying to explain, an acid trip in words. Like, forget it. So, but about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, we were just lying next to one another on the bed, and I don't know if yeah, I mean, we must have been like touching somewhat, like either my hand was on his chest or something. But again, I felt this energy flow that was moving through me and transferring to him. And it was really intense. Like when I say I've like got powerful energy flowing through me, it is some powerful ass energy flowing through me. Sometimes I wonder if the other person can handle it. So I felt this crazy energy rocketing through me, like fire in my veins. It's just like, and so it goes into his body. I'm like, I'm infusing him with this energy. It's like light energy, light codes. And all of a sudden he's like, whoa, he's like, what are you? He's like, holy fuck. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh my God, this is intense. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, are you feeling this right now? Like you felt that? And he's like, yeah. He's like, all of a sudden, just like this rush of like, I like got hot and this energy and like on all of it, just like is wow. And I was like, that's so cool that you felt that. Um, I think it's crazy also because I think people assume that I do this type of work on him, but honestly, I don't. We've been together for 4 years and I've maybe done this type of energy like a handful of times. So the fact that I'm starting to do more of this energy, that he's more receiving of it now and that he's actually feeling it, and then confirmation of what that happened last night, that he's actually, then meanwhile, I'm doing this energy work. He's having his own revelations and realizations, and it's shifting him into this new paradigm, and the 2.0 version of him is so cool to see. Confirmation of that this type of subtle work in the non-physical realm with the energy, leveraging energy, learning how to tap into it, learning how to alchemize it, learning how to manipulate it, move it, and transfer it is such fucking powerful work. That is the matriarch coming back to life. That, that is, yeah, that is saucy. And that is the kind of stuff that I want to embody other women with, because these are the physical shifts that take place. These are the physical, by the way, sorry, Ed, isn't this crazy how this is just standing like this? It's a cord, but it's just like, it looks like it's like defying gravity. It's like, then it goes onto the desk and it just goes that way and it's like lying on the desk, but it just looks like it's defying um, physics right now because it's just hanging in midair. Anyways, this is how powerful this shit is. And it's cool that I'm now seeing it happen in my relationship with my partner, where where I'm literally that, feminine, that is the spirit working in the spiritual energetic realm. And when I tap into that and when I use that energy consciously and then I transfer it to my partner, knowing how to do it through Reiki energy, that so many of you are taking courses in and knowing how to do it. I should actually teach I should actually teach Reiki. If you guys want to learn Reiki, just ask me, because it could be something that I could start up doing. But yeah, that I'm actually able to be that and then transfer the codes to him and then watch him do it in real life and open up into all of his expansion and break through his limitations and truly become who he's meant to be. Because when I first, I did so much of this exact work before I met him that I said to the universe, I was like, the next guy that I'm with is going to be the one. Like, I'm not fucking doing this anymore where it's like bumping into a relationship by default or kind of sorta or like Mr. Right now but not Mr. Right. Like I ain't doing this anymore. Like the next guy that I am with, he is gonna be the one and I'm gonna know it with every single fiber of my being. I'm gonna know it. It's gonna be a clear cognizant knowing that I can't just be like, well, I could do with him and I could do without him. Like it can't be like that. It's got to be a knowing. So even though the Lord is testing me, has tested me over the last 4 years with like how slow that preparation of his journey was with the arrow pulling back, back and back and back. Because by the way, that vision became the next 4 years of my life where I was like, this is so painfully slow. Like I just want to like I want you to let that arrow go and I just want to shoot through the sky right now. Like I'm getting so tired of waiting and waiting for you to like line things up. Are you even lining things up? So that vision became the last 4 years of my life where I was carrying the codes, the vision of the what it has the potential to be, but it wasn't happening. And so like that's why I was like, oh, come May, I was just like, I'm gonna have a mental breakdown. And that's when everything shifted. And oh my gosh, what was I getting at? But I did so much prep for for the relationship that when I have a whole course on this because my guides energetically downloaded into me the blueprint of how to manifest this man because I was like, I don't want to do the dating thing. I don't want to do it that way. I don't want to just like, date and then have my life like by default. Like, what do I do? How do I make fucking absolutely 150% sure that the next one is actually going to be the one that is going to be everything that I wanted? And so my guides literally gave me a blueprint that they downloaded into me. I documented what it was, what the formula was, and I followed that formula and boof. When I met him, the whole situation, fucking everything. He was a race car driver. There are no like he's probably like 1% of young race car drivers that are pro mod racers. Like there's just no young guys. Listen, I've been at the racetrack because it's been like a whole like thing for my whole life. And I'm like, I've gone gaga over the idea of being with a drag racer my whole life since I was like fucking 3 because that was when I like we started going to the racetrack. I have scoured the pits for 30 years and never found a hot racer because they're all old and fat. Sorry, no offense. I love you guys, but that's what they look like. And I'm like, so when I saw him, I was like, the fuck? His eyes, his confidence, the way that he carried himself down, like the way that he treated me, everything, all of the fucking things, down to the color of his truck. Yeah, I put white truck, white Ford Lariat truck, like the everything down to the detail. And I was like, I hit the motherfucking jackpot. And like those are just like two crazy things. Like I could go on of a list of literally 150 plus things right off the top of my head that were just exactly what I asked for. And in the weirdest way, like in a way that like that seemed like these seemingly random things, how could they possibly come together in one picture in one package? No, they came together in that one package. Like, yeah, but then as life evolves, I was like seeing, okay, this package right now needs to evolve, needs to, there has to be evolution of this perfect package. Dynamics change, things change, we grow into ourselves and all of that. So I was like, yeah, okay, this was great. But now I'm also energetically going to steer this relationship so that it can expand into more, so that we can become more, we can become more successful, we can, experience more in life and open up to more. So my point is that I did so much of this vibrational meditative prep, if you will, and energetic upcoding. Like I would go in deep into meditation and envision this and funnel the frequencies down and ask for that exactly so that when it happened that I knew that this was it. that I was like, there is no way that I was wrong about this man. Like, there's no way that I was fucking wrong about this. That he's not gonna like line up, that he's not gonna click into this place, that he's not gonna level up, that he's not going to like and step into his fullest potential, that he's not gonna let that arrow go and let that soar through the skies. There was times where I really doubted that and I was like willing to walk away, but in the back of my mind I was like, I couldn't have been wrong about that. I'm a goddamn psychic. Like, how could I have been so wrong in my life with all this crazy prep and these guides and these codes and everything being downloaded? There's just no way. Like, I don't see myself ever like actually like leaving this relationship. That's I've never felt like that in my life before. It's always been like a yeah, I could definitely do without this, but I'm like I can't envision it not being this. So I've manifested, my relationship. I've manifested my house this way. I've manifested my car. I've manifested like things in my business, like so many of these things that I now know that this is like the formulated way to create things in your life that continue to give back to you, that continue to every day I wake up and I fucking love this place. Every day I wake up and look into my boyfriend's blue eyes and I'm just like, damn. Every time that I see that I'm walking up to my car, I'm like, hey girl. um, so all these things. So I was like, I refuse to believe that I was wrong. And just at the time where I was like, could I have been wrong? Like, could I have been wrong? Like, seriously, universe, was now seeing this in confirmation that he's getting these fucking downloads. He is receiving these quantum codes. He is coming to these realizations. He's embodying these codes and he's coming out a different version. And bless his heart, he has no experience with this. He doesn't even know what's fucking happening. I'm like a shamanic witch that is like, doing things that he has no clue of. And guys, I know even up until probably 2 years ago, I had a serious like what's it called when there's like a stigma attached to a word because I was always taught that witches were bad. So I don't use that word like that I'm like witchy or manipulate energy or do it for any nefarious agendas. Like when I understand that I have that power and so do you. So do you. What you have that power at your fingertips and it's your responsibility to use it for good or for bad. But I am always working with light energy. I am never ever manipulating anyone to do anything and move and that kind of stuff. I'm never doing that. When I am working with this energy, it is always light transfer, light energy, and it's very general. Typically it's for this person's greatest and highest expansion, for their best expression of themselves, their true authenticity, them coming home to themselves, them merging with their true self, their true nature, their true power, their true alignment with source energy, all of those things. So yeah, it is really cool to see it happening in my relationship, especially because he's not outwardly a spiritual person. He jokes about my language, my vocabulary, like that I'm just like off in la la land. He's like, I don't understand like 90% of what you say, but like I'm here for it. But then to watch that it like you don't need language, like linguistic language to transfer this energy, that it is an energetic transfer of energy that happens. Um, but it shifts the body and it goes down into a cellular matrix, down into your quantum cosmic makeup, if you will. And then that's how it works. Once you download these codes, they simply it goes right down to the creation molecule. And from that point, when it locks in, then poof, it starts birthing that naturally. You are that version of yourself then. You're showing up as that version. And then life around you reflects and responds based to the vibration that you're offering, a new vibration. You are a beacon of light that then has open channels for abundance, for miracles to happen, for things to work out. You are in a coherent field. You have a coherent field. You've also like downloaded these quantum codes and upgraded, and now you are that living, you're walking through this 3D space-time reality as that person. So that's how powerful this quantum code energy Reiki transfer is, that you can see it. And this is so cool because I see this in all my clients. Like this is, I haven't had a way to explain it to people. It's very hard to explain. But that is what happens when I am in session with somebody. I go through the chakras. I get all sorts of messages. I'm moving things out that need to be released. I'm funneling things down. There's an energy transfer. There's codes. I'm just simply a conduit. I'm allowing for these codes to transfer through me. Sometimes I don't even understand what they're for, but I'm just there to give them. Then the whole body like will have some kind of like the vibration, or their person will see colors and whatever, and it goes right down and wraps around their DNA helix structure, encodes into their very fiber of everything. Then that's just who they become. That's just they be that. Then they be that energy. They show up in life as that energy. And you still have free will. You can still like turn on your heel and decide to like, turn on your heel and go right back to your old version, your old self, if that's what you want. But you're betraying yourself then. And so when people follow these nudges, and when they continue to follow the breadcrumbs that the guides give through the session, because there's these markers or milestones, like watch out for this, watch out for that alignment, this is an opportunity here. When people follow that and they listen to the information that their guides are giving them, it just kind of happens, and life shifts and life happens, and these things come to fruition, and cycles complete, and things get closure, and then you move and you graduate and you get initiated into new levels of being and stuff. So when I work with clients, it is that's what's happening. But some clients that are doing spiritual work at home as well, they start to be able to understand that this is the way to manifest, that this is the way to create in your life. And they start doing it themselves because they have a reference point of what that felt like in their Reiki session, or their shamanic healing session, or psychic session. I still don't know what to fucking call it, but it's all in one. It's like a human ayahuasca journey. And so that they have that baseline reference point of that vibration that they felt, that alignment that they felt, that clarity that they felt, the compassion that they felt, the love that they felt, the resonance that they felt within, that they know that they can get back to that point. And so they try to get there, and they start to meditate, and they start to feel this vibration. They too then become people that are able to harness this type of energy and use it to shift and shape things in their lives. And so my goal is to definitely not be that therapist where people keep coming back and keep coming back. I hate that fucking shit. That is why I do not, anyways. I'm not that person. I'm not like, okay, thanks. I'll come back next month and I'll just clear the demons and I'll clear the energy for you and I'll sage you and all this stuff. And like, you need me to cleanse you, or you need me to clear you. No, that's not my goal. My goal is to like empower you, that when you get this feeling that you're tapping into, that you can get there too, and that you start your own practice of following your intuition and following your bliss, and taking time out to receive these codes and funnel them down. And that's all like nervous system recalibration, which is, I really should be teaching this more. But I see my clients that go ahead and take that extra step. They're doing that fucking work now. Actually, I do have a course about that. It's called Meditation 101. And my girlfriend, at the time that I ran it for the first time, I was undercharging so much that I'm like scarred for life for how good it was and how little I charged for it. And my girlfriend, I was just talking about that yesterday. And she's like, I would have paid like thousands of dollars for that course because it changed the entire trajectory of my entire life. Like it has shaped everything. And she's like, since I did that work, I have manifested my dream life. And I just went to her photo shoot where she's doing a branding photo shoot because she quit her job. She's like on the road. She bought a scout camper. She bought a new truck. She's traveling now. She's working remotely. She's like living her dream. She's literally living her dream. And she did a branding shoot for becoming her own manifestation coach. Like, I have watched that girl like portal through this anointed time this last year since she did that course. And I'm like, wow. And I didn't even realize that, but she's like, ever since I did that fucking course, she's like, this is what happened. Like all of it happened. It was a portal and I was like, yeah, because you're alchemizing, you're leveraging your energetic power. You're leveraging that non-physical realm that is at everybody's fingertips if they just know how to like just funnel this energy in, transfer it, work with it, be curious about it, open up to it, all of it. It's so cool. Um, anyways, yeah, I do have a course about that. Go check it out. Um, anyways, yeah, just it was it's pretty crazy what this energy is capable of and how it's moving through my life. Also very, very timely that it's just coming down to the next chapter here. And if you are going through a portal right now too, where you know that you are being initiated into a different chapter, into another level of your life, um, then if you're looking to get Reiki energy or you're looking to get some clarity, then for sure buzz me. I will help you through that process. Have one of my sessions. They're incredible. And the other thing is if you are already like a novice meditator, as they would call them, and you know how to meditate, go deep into meditation at this point with this portal because it is a very anointed time and prepare for your next chapter. When you can tell that your old chapter is just coming to a close, that is right away the point where you want to also then shift your energy into, okay, now what? Now what? What do I want now? What does life look like now? And start to energetically prepare and prep yourself and start priming the pump and keep opening up the pump so that the taps don't completely close. Because when you completely shut an old cycle and you haven't already energetically given your energy to the new chapter, to opening yourself up, keeping your channels open so that source energy can funnel information down through your open crown chakra. Okay, that's where you're going to continue to get information for how to keep moving forward, how to keep moving forward. That energy goes from your crown chakra down to your third eye so that you can use your intuition, so that you can see from a higher perspective, an eagle eye perspective, to know what to do, to make decisions based on intuition, not logic, not any blueprint or pattern that you followed in your past, because you're not your past. You're actually moving into something completely new, something completely uncertain. You're going to need your intuition. You're going to need for that information to come down through an open crown chakra, down through the third eye, so you can follow your intuition, and then it goes down through the rest of the chakras and anchors into your identity of who you are. So start doing that. If you're just finishing off an old cycle, start to meditate and be like, okay, now what am I shifting into? Because you want to lean more into the person that you're going to become than kind of leaning back and doing that. Because if you do that and you ignore leaning forward in and doing meditations to start getting information about how to move forward, that ledge is going to drop off for you. Like imagine a person who is leaving their job, no idea when they're going to get another one or anything versus a person that is leaving their job, but they already know that something is waiting for them. And the more that they tune in, the more information that they're getting about that something, the more they're tapping into something. So you're transitioning. You're not just like falling off a ledge and then there's fucking crickets. That's a very dangerous place to be. And it often happens with people where they ignore the nudges, they ignore their intuition, they ignore what they kind of know, how they're betraying themselves. They're in uncomfortable situations, but they don't do anything about it. And then they hit crisis mode. And then all of a sudden, source just like drops them off the ledge. And then there's crickets and there's nothing. And then they panic. You don't want to be in that position. When you can sense that things are closing, that they're coming to fruition, that you're closing off loose ends, that you're cutting off old ties, you want to at the same time that you're dealing with that and letting those things fall away, you want to tune into the now what and open up to that in your meditations and start to receive those breadcrumbs so that you're not left not knowing what to do, so that you even though you're moving into the field into uncertainty, you feel a certainty beyond logic. And I have that written on my mirror. Actually, it's certainty beyond logic, which is so cool because that's what my boyfriend is shifting into right now. He's a very logical, analytical, calculated, mathematical type being, and he's moving from that paradigm over to uncertainty and having to fly by the seat of his pants in a way that he's never done before and trust the universe without knowing. And he's also doing it with a partner who's like, that is my realm, that is my playground. And I feel like I have a responsibility because of who I am. And I vow to energetically guide our relationship like that because that is my zone of genius. So super cool to see it to come to fruition. Thank you for listening to this story. I don't know, there's this I story tell, and then there's like all these little nuggets of cool information that like my brain is just like full of because I'm a neurodivergent. Anyways, let me know how this resonated for you, and thank you for listening. This is the shit that I love. I love this. I'm so passionate about this. Mwah. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Later on the Spiritual as Fuck podcast. I never know how to wrap these things up, but I will see you guys next time.